It's time for another episode of Raising Courageous Leaders by Mr. Bunke Shipalana. That's my dad.
So today we're talking about change and a demand for change. Who's demanding change? Why do we need to change? What's going on?
I mean, life is the result of a series of change from birth to death. Be it physical, emotional, career, or relationship. Change is inevitable and is synonymous with life and growth. One thing I want to say to our African bankers is that change equates to life. If you are living, if you are breathing, if you can hear us now, there is change happening. Small change and big changes in your life. Number two, either you volunteer to change or life will demand change from you. I mean, when I wrote this, it reminded me of what my grandfather used to say. He used to say that, Bonke, humble yourself or life will humble you.
Oh, very true.
Bottom line, there's a humbling that needs to happen. Number three, we must remember that the initial change starts with me. The initial change commences from within. So in life, we tend to want the world to change. We want our partner to change. We want our boss to change. We want our customers to change. But we are not willing to change from within. Mahatma Gandhi once said that if you want to change the world, start with yourself.
100%.
And for me, that's where the demands come from. So if you ask who is demanding change from who, I want to say it's your future demanding change from your present.
Your future demanding change from your present.
It's who you're going to be demanding change from who you are today.
I remember a talk a while ago where someone said remarkable words when it comes to change, saying that progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. So why is it that personally, as people, we are against personal change so much?
We're scared of failures. Our system at school, from grade 1 to grade 12 and sometimes university and technical, told us that there's a person who fails and a person who passes. So we're so scared of failing. Failure is deemed as wrong, as irresponsible, as lacking initiative. So no one wants to fail in this world. And sometimes failure is good because you are learning from that failure. Sometimes you are not even responsible for that failure. It just things happen. You opened a business during lockdown period and it failed. But you can't call yourself a failure. So because of the system that we grew up in where we're taught never to fail, anything new to us always has an element of failure. And then that scares us. Number two, we are scared of uncertainty in the leap to a new future. So when we start something or we start a new journey, we are worried about the things that we don't know. But if you're going to start something new, know that there will be something new that you don't know. That's why it's called new. If it was not new, you'll do what you were doing the last 10 years. So there will be things that you are not sure of that you need to step into, and people get scared of things that they are not sure of. Number three, we get trapped between maybe and may not be. Get trapped between maybe and may not be. So we are stuck in between. We're not left, we're not right, we're not hot, we're not cold. We are just lukewarm. And the Bible is quite clear that lukewarm doesn't work in this world. You have to decide, are you moving forward or backward? Standing still is actually moving backwards.
Do you think there needs to be a sort of re-education around the concept of failure and how one can actually benefit from failing? Because like you're saying, even in our schooling, we've been engineered so much to avoid failure at all costs. And I would think that many of us are afraid of trying new things or afraid of challenging ourselves because we're scared of the unknown, because we're scared of failure. So do you think there needs to be a re-education, a relearning of sorts around, the concept of failure and how it can be beneficial to one's personal growth?
I don't think that we can run away from the fact that there is failure, because failure simply means that you did not reach a particular
standard
mark or acceptance level. But what we need to do is to redefine why failure. These days, when people fail, you fail. But no one explains to you that, no, listen, when you did your psychological test or psychometric test, you're more of a science student. So biology is not for you, or you're more of a math student. That's why you failed typing in those days when you used to do typing. We are just told that we're failed, but no one really explains the reason why you failed, so that you can change the reason and change failure to pass. So we are just given a stamp that failed. But why did I fail? Sometimes you can join a business, as I'm saying, that you start a business and then during lockdown and it failed.
Yeah.
You can't just say you're a failure. You have to go back and say, this was my brand plan or business plan.
Yeah.
Was it good? Yes, tick. I started with good money. Yes, tick.
Yeah.
Oh, the problem was that I opened a restaurant and for 3 months I could not sell. So the problem is not your brand plan.
Yes.
The problem is not your management skill. The problem was just life itself that did not correlate with it. It was the wrong season.
Yeah.
So now you have to look for the right season. And then once you find the right season, then you can change fail to pass. But unfortunately, we are just given or branded or marked a failure without explaining the why of that failure.
And a lot of the time we brand ourselves as the failures. So how can we best prepare ourselves for change, for internal change, that shift in the mind?
For me, 3 points that I've used in my life to fight this pandemic of change, because it keeps on happening to each and every person. Number one, in matters of principle, I stand like a rock.
Yeah.
In matters of taste, I swim with the current. In matters of principle, I stand like a rock.
Yeah.
In matters of taste, I swim with the current. So there is a certain percentage of issues in my life that I don't debate.
Yeah.
6 to 10% of elements or characteristics or values in my life or morals that I don't debate.
Yeah.
It's a no or a yes, finish
Yeah.
and clear. There's nothing to do with the next person. There's nothing to do with value. There's nothing to do with how much I'm getting. There's nothing to do with how much I'll be worshipped or respected. It's either yes or no, because this is what defines who Bonke is. But there are certain things that I am open-minded to change.
Yeah.
While most of us don't even know what our own values or characteristics are, and that's why we keep on changing to things that have nothing to do with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
A tree needs roots. Yes, you can go and trim it and cut the branches to prepare it for next season, but you can't cut the roots hoping that it will still bear fruit.
Yeah. Very true.
So your principles are like roots, while matters of taste, wishes, and seasonality are more like branches, and that can be trimmed because they do grow back. Number two, there are certain things which are beyond your control.
Yeah.
We tend to blame ourselves as if we are God, as if we woke up and say to the sun, sun, come out, and we're going to say to the moon later in the afternoon, moon, come out. We have no control over those.
Yeah.
So if you have no control over the sun and the moon, let it go. There are certain things that you're not in control of.
Yeah.
Maybe you woke up this morning and you wanted to wear your new miniskirt, can't get banned. You have no control over the weather.
That's
so
true.
just know in life that, yes, do as much as you can, but you're not 100% control. There will be demand in your life that you're not in control of.
Yeah.
Number three, sometimes you need to change your viewpoint.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's all about changing your viewpoint. You can't fight the current change that is happening in your life. Maybe when you just build a big office now with which can accommodate 30 people, and then the president comes in and says, well, on level 5, no one must go to the office. You have to change your viewpoint of how your employees are going to work with you. Maybe you just started at African Bank and were excited to see your colleagues, and then, but don't come to the office.
Work from home.
You have to change, work from home. You have to change your viewpoint. You can't say, I want to go to the office. I want to see my new colleagues. I want them to see my new all-stars.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
So in life, learn to change your viewpoint. A guy by the name of Dennis once said that there are things I can't force. I must adjust it.
Yes.
That times the greatest change needed is a change of my viewpoint. Not necessarily a change of how things are done. Just change your standpoint. If you're looking at this item from south, move to east or move to north and look at it from a different viewpoint.
Simply put, nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yep. That's the truth.
Stop waiting for someone to rescue you.
You must have patience and engage in consistent action.
Find the inspiration within yourself.
Patience
to rise above and be your own hero. Join Bonke Shipalana on The Power Within.